Hello, I'm Patrick Stewart, and welcome to our Star Trek special. Well, it's true in the movie. I am alone to save the universe from the powers of darkness in the shape of Malcolm McDowell. But in fact, I have a lot of assistants because there are all the other crew members, Commander Data and Commander Riker, all of my colleagues who I hope, if there is to be a future for us, will be at my side. We shall be shoulder to shoulder doing all of that good work that Captain Kirk and his colleagues did for so many years. I've been asked that a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, yes, but it was the very proper, healthy competition that all actors need to have with one another. Some of your colleagues in the United States have been for several months, had been last year, writing all kinds of stuff about hostilities between Bill and myself, and actors refusing to leave their trailer and all of that nonsense that goes on. In fact, it was amusing because nothing could be further from the truth. Bill and I, who did not know one another very well, got on just famously. I think the working relationship was good too. In fact, seeing the movie now, I could wish that we had had more together. There seems to be quite a nice rapport, particularly in the area of some of the lighter comic stuff. I was very happy to play straight man to Bill's Captain Kirk. It evolved, I think, in that way. I don't believe at the very beginning that that was one of the foundations of the character. It evolved in that way. I was very happy that part of Captain Picard's command style should be his willingness, his enthusiasm for listening to others. And in fact, it's one of the areas in which I, Patrick Stewart, have tried to absorb some of Captain Picard's qualities, because goodness knows I was not a good listener. And he will say, which I think rarely Captain Kirk said, "Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. I want all your opinions."
Right.
And based on those, that committee of opinions, he would make a decision. I think that it was appropriate that people, even the good Counselor Troy, would come and bring her problems to him. He was a very, why am I speaking of him in the past tense? It's Captain Kirk that's dead.
Right.
He is. He is a man who is interested in other people and likes other people, and he feels it's his responsibility as a captain to pay attention. Now, that's also something that Patrick Stewart wasn't too good at before, but I try now to pay a little better attention than I used to. Yes, that again evolved during the show. You're probably much too young to remember our pilot episode, but
No.
but in that episode, I first met Wesley Crusher. It's interesting, of course, for us that it's one of the things that illustrates the run of our series, that I saw Will Wheaton, whom I admire enormously. I think he's a simply wonderful actor. I saw him go from being a 12-year-old to a 19-year-old. Picard was not comfortable about the fact that there was this child on the Enterprise, particularly a child,
in the beginning,
someone with whom it appears the captain had had a certain relationship, never quite that clearly defined, but something existed in the past, and something continues to exist now in the present between Dr. Crusher and Captain Picard. Exactly. But the relationship with Wesley deepened, and yes, he did, in fact, I think, deliberately take on the role of father for Wesley, who was without a father, his father having died years earlier.
His best friend.
And Picard's best friend. And I remember especially one episode, but I can never remember the names of these episodes. There were 178, when Wesley had failed to be accepted into Starfleet Academy.
Exactly. Yeah, I saw that one.
And Picard said to him, did you do your best? And he said, yeah. He said, well, then that's all you have to be concerned with. And I know without doubt that when you sit it again, and you will sit it again, this time you will pass. And then he makes a confession and says, few people know this, but actually I failed the first time too.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed all of those aspects of Picard's relationship with the people on the ship. Yes. Paying attention is the important thing. Most of my previous career, and I've been an actor for almost 35 years, was based in the theatre. I was for 12 to 15 years with the Royal Shakespeare Company in England, and I'm an associate honorary artist of the Royal Shakespeare Company. At the theatre, Ingmar Bergman was once asked which he preferred, theatre or films. He said, "I love films, but the theatre is my life." And in fact, I'll make a little confession to you. Yesterday evening, I arrived here at the cinema for the premiere,
Yeah.
and I walked through the crowds and did some interviews and went into the theatre and immediately went out of the back door, got into my car and drove straight over to the Berliner Ensemble, where I was able to see about 90 minutes of the play and get back in the car and race back here in order to be here for the end of the movie. I'd seen the movie, you understand.
Of course, yeah.
And yes, the theatre is really my life. It is a marvelous experience being in front of a live audience.
Mhm.
Oh, yes, I'm sure that I could find something. Let me see. Given some of our present circumstances now, it might be appropriate to quote Theseus from Midsummer Night's Dream, where I have come, great clerks of purpose to greet me with prepared welcomes, where I have seen them tremble and look pale, make periods in the midst of sentences, and dumbly have broke off, not giving me a welcome. Yet in their silence still I picked a welcome. Love, therefore, and tongue-tied simplicity, in least speak most to my capacity.